What's going on, my fellow Fairy Tale my Doshis? Two things I want to say before I start this video. First off, I would like to say I appreciate everyone that's been so patient with me. This third move in less than a year, it was a hell on me. It took a while, a lot longer than expected to get Wi-Fi, but I finally have it, so I'm back in business as of right now. And two, the second thing I want to say is I left the door open to bring some groceries in my apartment, and a fly flew in, so it's just buzzing around. This little motherfucker is annoying the hell out of me. So if you see me swatting and whatnot in the review, it's not because I am on drugs of any kind, you know, not right now anyway. It's just that this buzzing motherfucker is really getting on my nerves. And wow, I never really noticed before I got into this lighting for this video that I really need to shave. I'm starting to look like Wolverine in the face or some shit. Anyway, for the past week or so, I've been waiting for the next chapter of Fairy Tale to come out because I wanted to review it, but I found myself trying to actually talk about this chapter with you guys, and I actually ended up just repeating what we actually already saw in the chapter. I don't know if it's because I'm out of practice since I haven't reviewed anything, well, reviewed too many things lately, or if it's because this chapter really didn't do much for me. Like, I really wasn't digging it. I mean, I could really summarize the entire chapter in a few sentences. Mavis tricked Eileen. She met up with Zara again one final time. They're together. It's all heart-touching and whatnot. And Levy dry humped Gajeel while crying. That's pretty much what happened. Oh yeah, and we found out that Brandish survived, and Parliuska revealed something kind of interesting, saying that the tumor wasn't exactly what she thought it was. I mean, some doctor she is. I mean, that's a lawsuit right there. If you diagnose someone with the wrong illness, and if they die from it, then you're looking at like $100,000. So Parliuska, I hope you're ready to pay up. That is what really got me interested. Like, I really was like, okay, you know, I'm not saying it was a bad chapter. It was just, you know, in my opinion, and it wasn't the chapter that I wanted to start off reviewing again now that I'm officially back. So I decided that I'm going to take the most interesting part of this chapter, Parliuska revealing that she has mistaken the tumor for something else, something far worse, so she says, and turning that into a video of its own. So I decided to do a predictions video of the next chapter instead of reviewing just this chapter. Let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm just going to go ahead and say straight up that I really believe that this thing that's growing inside of Natsu is his dragonized ability, because we've seen, I think like a year and a half ago, eventually Natsu will gain the power to turn into a dragon, or have a dragon anyway, as we saw in that Natsu dragonized teaser image to some movie that's supposed to come out. Who knows the fuck when that's coming out, but it's an official image. It's going to be in an actual movie. So my mind automatically drew to like, okay, Igneel said that he planted these antibodies, well, all the dragons planted the antibodies inside of the dragon slaying children to prevent them from turning into dragons. But who knows, with that awesome ass Igneel dragon tattoo that Natsu showed us in the war like about 10-15 chapters ago, maybe that did something. Maybe that used Igneel's power and like took power from the antibodies to give him that power. So maybe he has no more antibodies, and maybe he's just about to gain that dragon form. Now, I don't know if that'll automatically make him evil like Acnologia, because Acnologia, based on from what we've been told, he was an evil asshole before he can turn into a dragon. But my thing is, why would that be far worse than essentially a tumor that's like draining the magic out of you and to kill you? Because seemingly turning into a dragon, you know, back and forth would be fucking awesome for Natsu. But since the dragons were trying to prevent the dragon slaying children from gaining that ability, might mean that once they turn into dragons, they may just go on like a rampage, like on some, you know, back in the day, Dragon Ball Z, when Goku used to turn into the great ape. He couldn't control himself. He would just like rampage and destroy everything in his sight. Maybe it's something like that, which would make more sense as to why the dragons wouldn't want their dragon slaying children to become dragons. Maybe they automatically turn evil. Fuck it, I don't know. And also, we don't know the extent of this end power in Natsu, this Etherious Natsu Dragneel. Obviously, Igneel knows a lot more than Natsu does, and a lot more than we do. So maybe him turning into a dragon will awaken this end power. So that's the first thing. That's the only thing I can think of. This tumor could be like something growing inside of Natsu that's like hurting him and will ultimately be worse than just him losing his magic or whatever that the tumor was stated to be a few chapters ago. I forgot what the hell happened because, like I said, you know, I fell behind or whatever. But I truly believe that Polyuska is hinting that Natsu is about to awaken this power that should not be awakened. And since there's like a sword to the back of his neck from that chick that killed Brandish, well, didn't kill her, but you know, she thought she killed her or whatever. But of course, it's fairy tale. The good guys aren't going to die. I mean, there's been so many deaths on the good guy side in the past few chapters. We got Gray, Juvia, Gajil, etc., etc., and they're all still alive. So I'm really not surprised that Brandish is alive as well. But anyway, not talking about that. I think that Natsu is about to awaken at least part of his power. Like, I don't think he's going to go full on like dragon right now. I don't think he's going to grow like the full wings and, you know, with the claws. I don't think he's going to go like full Igneel right now. I think it's going to be similar to what we've seen in the Natsu Dragonized image, where he has like one wing, half his face is like red and scaly, he has claws on one hand. That's why I think he might awaken at this moment, because I can't think of anything that Lucy can do, you know, tied up with her tits hanging out. You know, I can think of a few things that I would do to her. No one else is in that room. We have no idea where they are. I'm pretty sure none of the other fairy tale members knows where Natsu and Lucy are, so they're not going to be able to come to the rescue. So it's up to someone in that room to prevent Natsu from getting his head cut off like right now. So I don't think Lucy has anything up her sleeve that she can do. I mean, we all know that Lucy has been known to summon a few, you know, celestial spirits without using her keys directly, so she could technically summon someone, but that seems like it would be a cop-out. Like, this is such a dire situation that wouldn't be solved just by summoning a celestial spirit. Maybe Loki jumps in and, you know, tries to whoop her ass or whatever, but I don't think it's going to be that easy, especially after the reveal that the tumor is something far worse than what we thought it was, what Polyuska thought it was. So I'm thinking that since Natsu was like over there knocked out, you know, he has a sword to the back of his head, Lucy can't do anything, she's tied up, he's tied up, he seems to be unconscious, so maybe he awakens his power and literally wakes up with half a wing and goes crazy and just demolishes this chick that has the sword to the back of his neck, and also tries to attack Lucy because he's not in his right mind. But since he's not in his full dragon form, he snaps out of it or whatever. But then Lucy realizes, like, hey, something's wrong with Natsu, and then they hook up with Polyuska, and she says, okay, you know, this is what we have to do. We have to do such and such and such. We have to defeat Zareth within a certain amount of time, defeat the book, destroy the Book of End. But Happy and Natsu know that if the book is destroyed, Natsu will also die too, and etc., etc. So this will open up a brand new like drama for Fairy Tail, and I think this is the direction that this series is going based on the ending of the chapter. Like I said, the entire chapter, it was okay, but it wasn't anything that I will want to talk about in my first fairy tale video I've done in such a long time. And I think this is much more interesting. And that's the only thing that I could think of that she could have mistaken the tumor for. I'm not exactly sure how similar an anti-magic tumor is to becoming a dragon, but she says it's something far worse, and I can actually see this being the point where Natsu is starting to awaken his actual dragon form. Like, I truly believe that the dragon tattoo like absorbed or sucked like Igneel's energy or power or whatever out of the antibodies that he put inside of him to prevent him from turning into a dragon. So those antibodies are useless now, so he can actually, you know, start the process of becoming a dragon. That's probably a bad thing. You know, it sounds awesome, you know, Natsu can turn into a dragon, then back like Acnologia can, but seeing as it will be something new to him, he probably would just lose his mind and just burn everything. So I don't fucking know. But that's what I think is going to happen. Tell me what you guys think is going to happen down below. That's really the only theory that I could think of that makes sense in this, you know, point in time. But who knows? I mean, there's been a lot of questionable things that have happened in Fairy Tail lately, like with like the blood transfusion from Juvia. Like, where did that come from? But I mean, I guess it's, you know, sweet. Juvia has been secretly preparing this technique just in case Gray lost a lot of blood or some shit. But that's what I think the tumor inside of Natsu is. I think it's his power, like his dragonized form gaining more power. Because I still believe one of the most epic moments in all of Fairy Tail has been like way back when in the arc when they had to fight Jalal with Natsu, used his dragon drive and got all scaly and whatnot. That was just so badass to me. He looked so fucking cool with those scales and whatnot. He looked more like, you know, the legendary Salamander and Igneel that we had not really seen up until that point at the time. So it just kind of built the, you know, fact that he is a dragon slayer and he has like dragon slaying magic and whatnot. It really made him look more dragon-like without actually making him look like a full dragon. So I really want to see that form brought back, and now will be the perfect time. I mean, he has a sword to the back of his head. He can't do anything. Lucy's, you know, really can't do anything either besides being there with her tits hanging out or whatnot. But I mean, it just seems like this will be the point. It's like now or never. He's going to unlock that one wing, like half of his body is going to be all dragonized or whatever. Yeah, tell me what you guys think. What else do you think that tumor could be? What do you think Pralushka means by she was mistaken, that it was a lot worse? It's a lot worse than what she could have ever imagined or whatever. But yeah, tell me what you guys thought. Or what do you think is going to happen next chapter? What do you guys think about the, you know, the Zera and the Mavis meetup and the, you know, Levy humping Jalal and crying and whatnot? It was, like I said, it was an okay chapter, but I didn't think it deserved my comeback to Fairy Tail. I think this discussion was a lot more interesting in my opinion. But anyway, tell me what you guys think. This has been jbDAuchiha. Like, comment, subscribe, and I am out.